beautiful soul. Welcome to the Quantum Business Queen podcast. This podcast is a vortex for activating wealth, riches, and boss bitches. It is here that I teach multi-dimensional business. Our content will fall under 3 different categories: 5D quantum creation, 4D frequency alchemy, and the most potent 3D strategy. Every aspect of business that contributes to the creation of success is covered here. Plus, I will be personally interviewing the most amazing boss bitches that are at the forefront of the game, paving the way for money, magic, and magnetism in business. Let's get ready to activate all of that within you. Hello, amazing human. Welcome to this week's episode of the Quantum Business Queen podcast. Today, we're going to tap into the power of your vision, exactly what you can do to pull it into physicality, and all the juicy goodness that comes with understanding what your vision actually is and how to access it in the quantum. It's really powerful stuff. So without further ado, this is the last installment of the Quantum Flow Challenge goodness. I hope you love it. So here is what I do. Again, this is the quote I used yesterday. If success is guaranteed, how would you proceed? These are the choices. Know how powerful your choices are, right? So tune into the vision and just the desire. Let the desire show you. Don't be in your mind around the desire. Desire, show me. Desire is a consciousness. Okay? Desire is a consciousness. Your vision is a consciousness. Your business is also a consciousness. It's a co-creation. It's not just you doing it on your own. You're co-creating with a consciousness behind the scenes. When people get inspiration for books, that is a consciousness. Read the book Big Magic. Elizabeth Gilbert proves this. She's had consciousnesses of books. Tap her on the shoulder to say, hey, I want you to write me. And she doesn't get around to it and finds out years later someone wrote the exact book because she didn't choose it. And that's okay. Maybe that wasn't her path at the time. Maybe her grid was too full. Tune into the energy knowing that your vision is a consciousness and let it show you. You don't need to know. So when you release the knowing, your mind gets out of the way and the vision shows you. Right? Does this make sense? Again, this is not how we're programmed. We're programmed to have it the other way around, which is why you keep blocking it. So here's what I do. Tune in. If you're not quite in the part of the vision yet, that's okay. Tune into the desire. The desire is always going to be freedom. So desire, show me how we can be on our next timeline of abundance, service, and freedom. I ask myself that question every day. Abundance, service, and freedom. Value. That will come next. How can I be in new layers of abundance, service, and freedom? Whenever I come and do these launches, presentations, whatever, challenges, always to launch something. But be totally honest, but it's never how many people can I convert? It's always how can I serve at my most powerful? And I talk about the energy of that side of business. When you lead with service, that's crazy magnetic. Crazy magnetic. Service, service, service. How can I give so much to these souls? They're going to be lit up. And I say this, some of you are going to join me. Some of you, we're going to do the certification. Some of you aren't. I love all of you the same for being here and showing up for yourself. From a sheer place of service and attachment. And I hope regardless, we all continue a journey some way, shape, or form together. So tune into the desire. If the vision is there, okay, step back. If the vision is there, then you tune into that every day and you tune into that timeline, knowing it's a timeline that's done and the vision will start showing you everything you need to do. What do you require from me today? Ask the vision. It is a consciousness. It will tell you. It's weird. I tap into the highest version of Sarah. Sarah, what do I do today? Sometimes it's like rest. And I'm like, what? Okay. Are you sure? What? This is weird. This is making me weird. Okay. So this is important because if we understand time when it comes to the quantum, which we're not going to get too much into that today, everything's happening all at once. It's not linear, which you guys probably already get that. So I'm tuning into the version of Sarah who's just here in a different resonance, right? She's not like she's way down there in linear time. She's just in a different resonance. And I'm asking her what I need to do to shift into this version so we can boom, blend. And then we go to another version. What do I need to do to shift? Boom. So we blend. That also, because time is linear. I also go to the past Sarah, and I'm always comforting the past version of Sarah because she's a resonance still. Because time is like a spiral, the way I visually see it, the way my mind can wrap itself around it. So when I invested $33,000 into my first mentor, which was the craziest time, COVID, income loss, all of it, never made logical sense, but I knew I had to. When I remember there was one point when I was in my mentor's house, I was staying the night there, and I went to that past version of Sarah who was scared, who was worried, who didn't know if I'd be able to do it. And in my mentor's house that night, I went to that past version of Sarah and I said, don't worry, Sarah, you do it. It happens for you. Don't worry. And that will give that version of Sarah just that, boom, that layer of release. And guess what happens? It anchors into my present day version of Sarah because it's all coexisting at once. So I play with quantum versions of me, and I teach you more about this, but it is about tapping into the future version. What energy, what do I need to let go of? What belief system? Where's the resonance that that I need to tweak slightly? Whoop, okay, boom. And there I land, and there I blend. Okay, is this making sense? We're getting pretty quantum today. It's a timeline that's already done. Okay, just as a reminder, I'm going to go through the Quantum Coach certification again, and then I'm going to give you bonus. Okay, so Richard, let's get some Richard codes. I just put them back. I didn't take the slide off. Get some Richard codes. Expansive receiving, wildly delusional man. He doesn't care about the how. He doesn't need to be the best at whatever. He just hires the best people. He doesn't even know how to read his his P&L reports, and he's a billionaire. I love it so much. He does not let anything hold him back. But I don't. But who am I to? None of that exists in his reality. He is wildly delusional. He just says I just spend my time in my visions. That's all. And I'm like, yeah, you spend the time in your quantum. Your mind's a navigation tool. It's navigating all the possible timelines that are available. He's so delusional in those timelines that he becomes those timelines. Boom. And that's how you transcend physicality, my friends. Yes. So get Richard codes. Boom, boom, zapping you with the Richard codes. Receive the delusion. It is all about that. And like he transcends even like age physicality. It's wild. Good old Johnny boy couldn't keep up with a 74-year-old man. Anywho. All right. Choose based on your desire. Okay. Not based on the evidence. Transcend. Choose beyond your reality because it's a vision that's done. Your only job is to be in the vision as often as possible to recalibrate to it and then choose, make the decisions that are required. Okay. You have to choose success before it can choose you. Not on what your ego thinks is possible based on your desire and your vision. Okay. This is how you quantum leap. I tell a story about when I was in corporate and I was failing, and I just had to tell myself I was an explosion of success, even though I wasn't. But it was weird how I spent a year in victimhood, in failing, and thinking I was going to get deported from Australia, sent back to America. I was going to be fired. All these stories I told myself, and it wasn't because all of the evidence was telling me that. But I am failing, but my clients aren't, blah, 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 blah. But then I kept perpetuating it for a year. I told myself that story because of the evidence, because that was the evidence. I didn't know anything about energy or anything back then. But anyway, I had an awakening. Something literally tapped me on the shoulder saying, Sarah, you're choosing this. You're choosing to fail. What? Nobody chooses to fail. You're choosing the stories. You're choosing the victimhood. You're choosing to make this mean it. Shit. So now I have to choose success even though there's no evidence. So I tell myself every day I'm an explosion of success. So cheesy. You'll never guess what happened though. I became one of the top producers worldwide, was promoted several times. I left as senior business manager. I left that corporate sales job as senior business manager. I had to choose it. I had to choose it before it chose me. I had to choose beyond my reality. This is how you leap. Okay. All right. Okay. I have a really quick story about Martin. He's a business coach. He hired a business coach, which was like $60,000 to work with this business coach. He had to pay $30K up front. This was a story from years ago. Like he was like a 2015 client. He had to pay $30K up front. If he didn't come up with $30K by the end of the week, the rest of the $30K, he loses the $30K deposit. So he had a week to come up with the other $30K. So he was like, I have ABCD client. They're just waiting on the sidelines, Sarah. I need them to come through and then the rest of 30K will land. And I was like, Martin, you need to detach from the how. If you attach to needing these clients come through, you will repel them. You will block them. You need to detach from the how, and you need to be in the energy of it's already done. If it's already done, you wouldn't need the ABC client to come through. So it's already done. So what happened was he gets his first, the Thursday was hard. He had to really, really program his mindset, which I'm going to give you tools for that tomorrow. Really be in this place of overcoming the evidence of the physical reality, choosing beyond physicality. Thursday, he gets his first 60K client through out of nowhere. Okay. This shit works, right? It works. Just giving you the evidence. I have so many of these stories, by the way. Quickly, quantum coach certification. Then I'm going to give you a bonus tip. Guys, this is the most powerful cert. I'm scratching the very tip of the iceberg in terms of how deep we go for 12 weeks. This is a 3-month certification. You have permanent access to the online portal. We do live calls, which you have permanent access to. You get a step-by-step protocol workbook, so you will have all this at your fingertips when you're working with your clients. I give you a literal protocol. You have 48 hours now for the fast action bonus, where I will give you business support as well. You will get access to the business academy for 2 months. However, the amount of times I've done certifications, qualifications, kinesiology, whatever, and you're like, you have all these tools, but it's like the now what? I literally have a module in the certification called Now What? Here's what you need to do to book out your business. A, B, C, D. Here is the workshops you need to run to book out I give it all to you. So the return on investment will be there. I charged $130 per person just for the workshops I run a few workshops. Not only are you going to get a booked out client base, but it pays for this whole I make this so accessible. Okay. Workshop bonus. You have the wealth and energetics bundle. We get to play with the energetics of money, which will allow you to expand into this. Guys, I want you to leave the certification making a ton of money. Be in your purpose. Be really oh my God, I have tools that are going to change not only your own life, because you're going to embody on a different level what I'm teaching you just throughout the 3 days, but you cannot help but take other people through this. You cannot help but be the most powerful quantum coach out there. I teach you how to tap into people's energy and figure out specific emotions, where they're sitting in the energy field, and how to clear them. You never hear coaches talking about being able to do that kind of shit. And trust me, this is where you get to the 0 to 6 and all the other figures, because you're recalibrating yourself energetically into new timelines. So you get the trans channel bundle, guys. The recoding of this, like I said, one of the activations through the amazing trans channel Sindrine. This is the Octurians, 9th dimensional Octurians come through Sindrine. And like I said, the activations in this bundle are next level. It's understanding the frequency of wealth and how we get to co-create with it as a consciousness. It had me dry heaving for half a day once. It was wild. Okay. If you guys have any questions around this, just message me. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. But there's no way you can leave the end of the certification the same person. You will not. If you feel expanded and just recalibrated just in these 2 days, imagine what it's like spending 3 months together. It's next level. There's not words. So, okay. Here's what I'm going to give you quickly. I want you guys to have this exercise. I want you to look at your reality as a grid, because it is. Now, this is going to, again, next layer of resistance. I want you to draw a grid. Like I said, I'll even give you a worksheet of a grid. Guys, these awarenesses, I'm so happy to give these to you because they're fucking potent. Draw a grid. I want you to segment the grid in your job, your relationships, your fun and activities, your family, whatever. And I want you to plug in, what have you plugged into specific portions of your grid? My job, I make it mean that I feel purposeless in my job. Whatever the emotions are that are connected to your job, visualize. So if you plug a meaning, for example, my job is ABCD. You've made your job mean that, but you've also plugged in a frequency into the grid. I feel purposeless in my job. And maybe you do. We can't make it mean something else if you don't, but I want you to have this awareness of the plugins that you've plugged into your grid by way of what you make the things mean. And that will give you an understanding of the resonance that you're emitting out into the universe. Give me a quick yes if this makes sense. I want to explain deeper if not. Grid work is crazy powerful. Your relationship are negative or constricted or dense or whatever. Look at, oh my gosh, I have these plugins of density. Literally, each plugin, you think of it as an energetic cord that emits out to the universe. So then you get to look at that and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna just fucking unplug from that relationship altogether. Woo, energy in your grid opens up. Guess what then happens? Space for newness. If your grid is full and emanating with low density frequencies, not only does it keep you in a perpetuation of bad frequency, no space for newness to come through. So start either removing things, people, situations from your grid because you've now recognized they're emanating a specific frequency. And when you do that, you finally make room for newness. A lot of times things don't shift because your grid is stuffed to the brim. There's no room for nothing new to come through. Does that make any sense? So do grid work. Do the yes, no, maybe. Where are all the maybes? Because that is plugging up your grid. That is creating fence-sitting, stagnant energy. Maybes are worse than no's. A grid full of maybes are worse than a grid full of no's, because a grid full of no's are painful as fuck. And that pain will require you to make a change. Maybes are not painful. They're just like, brr, 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 but just creates a grid of stagnancy. What are all the maybes you plugged in? Unplug. And guess what? Boom. Space for newness. All of a sudden as well, your reality, your frequency starts recalibrating to yeses, and opportunities, people, all these wild things start popping into your new grid. So grid work is crazy powerful. I wish I had more time to explain this better. All right. I'm going to leave you with that. If you guys have any questions, message me, add me on Instagram. I love you. I hope this landed where it needs to, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening today, beautiful soul. I hope you got so much gold and were activated in such a way that you could step into your highest timeline of abundance and freedom, because it is more than possible for you. If that desire has been planted in your soul, it is so deliberate. If you wouldn't mind, please rate, review, subscribe to this podcast so that we can get this message into the hearts and ears of more amazing light beings across the world. I would love to continue this conversation with you, so feel free to get in touch on Instagram at sarah.tynan.quantumcoach. If you're a Facebook person, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Sarah Tynan International. And please don't ever forget, if your desire is there, it's because your destiny is there too. You just have to remember who you are. Bye for now, beautiful.